The scope of the Bafar Group cannot be comprehended without reference to the history of the Baeza Fares family. This history goes back to the time when the Baezas, a family of Spanish origin, put down their roots in the desert of Chihuahua, where the dry climate forced the family to face life head-on and to develop an intuitive outlook. It was there that they forged the character necessary for raising cattle under the blazing sun. At this time, the Fares were arriving from Lebanon and Jordan with a progressive attitude and were establishing a family business that prospered, thanks to the commercial vein that characterizes the Middle Eastern cultures. The combining of these two lines created a new lineage for whom wealth only makes sense when it becomes a transformational force. A generation capable of making vision and willpower work together for a common purpose. In 1983, Bafar was founded with no assets other than their vision for the future, faith in what they were doing, and love of the land that saw its birth. This company, which would later become the Bafar Group, was created just when the country was going through the worst economic crisis in modern history, marked by zero growth and a high inflationary index. During its initial years, critical for any business venture, Bafar lived in the midst of national uncertainty, and against all predictions, it grew and became stronger, generating the scarcest and most valuable resource at that time: jobs. From that time on, the Bafar Group's DNA has been marked by the talent to turn crisis into opportunity and the intelligence to adapt to a world that is continually reinventing itself. Bafar is the sum of all of its challenges. Its lifespan is not measured in years, but in eras. In the great moments that caused it to evolve from a meat wholesaler to a thriving agri-food industry that is increasingly positioned in the world market. The era of internationalization. The free trade agreement was the door by which we became integrated into the global market. We used the new international rules to create a culture of high self-demand in our work that enabled us to compete with the strictest markets. In our pursuit of excellence, we positioned and segmented our brands. We modernized our technological basis. We amplified our distribution network, and we added value to all of our products. We crossed borders, and now we are present on the table in millions of homes, not only in Mexico, but in the United States, Japan, Central America, and the Caribbean. With the agro-industrial complex in La Piedad, we will also soon be in China. The era of expansion. Inclusion in the Mexican stock market catapulted us quickly toward expansion. We placed part of our capital in the stock market. Since then, Bafar shares have risen consistently year after year. The liquidity we obtained facilitated strategic mergers that multiplied the variety of our products: Burr, Parma, Savori, and Campestre. Fresquecito was the prelude to the creation of grillers, with which we ventured into chicken products. Our sales force grew. Bafar Foods was the answer to the demands of a better operation. Thus, the divisions of retail and consumer products combine efforts to guarantee flavor, nutrition, hygiene, and the freshness that is the essence of our products. We envision new horizons of exportation. We celebrate the association with Interga Foods, strengthening our purpose of generating an entire supply chain of beef proteins, and through the acquisition of the Australian Milk Products, AMP, Mexico plant, today we achieve a strong presence in the cheese market. The innovation era. The greatest constant of the Bafar Group has been its progress. Its evolution has been the result of continual improvement, of creativity, of its vision to anticipate the future. We are a company that is multi-brand, multi-protein, and multi-channel in permanent modernization. Innovation is commitment with imagination to devise food products that correspond to the needs and desires of new consumers. To where do we direct our ingenuity? To the development of new products and the modernization of packaging. To a highly technological distribution system. to multiplying our commercialization chain so that it continues to be one of the largest and best articulated in the country, to which we add our Texan establishments, and to compliance with strict quality certifications, innovation, and the continual improvement of the processes that have enabled us to win prizes such as the Prize for Business Excellence. The era of diversification. The diversification of the Bafar Group is nurtured by the vision to detect opportunities, the audacity to take them, and the initiative to create them. Taking advantage of our accumulated experience and assets without compromising our principal activity, which is agro-industry, is our vital principle. This is how Vextor emerged, the financial company that offers competitive credit to both collaborators and suppliers, as well as to companies and the general population. In this way, we ventured into the production of corn and walnuts with modern cultivation techniques that make them sustainable and improve their quality and yield. Today, the process uses state-of-the-art technology through the implementation of the walnut sorter. In this way, we also consolidated game reserves that today protect wild species in their natural habitat and generate spaces for controlled and well-regulated sport hunting. In diversification, we walk paths that few dare to travel. We created one of the 9 real estate trusts listed on the stock market, the second outside of Mexico City, which makes us part of a closed group of pioneers in the country. Fibra Nova offers attractive returns thanks to the fact that the properties that make up its portfolio maintain 100% occupancy. The Bafar Technological Park, headquarters of the 4th generation industry in Chihuahua, was built under this model of real estate management. We have planted 30 hectares of the world's most recognized grapevine varieties, creating a wine development that proposes the best wine attraction for tourists in the north of the country. With Fly Capital, we created the first investment fund in the state of Chihuahua in order to boost the growth of small and medium-sized companies. Harmony with the environment. We grow in the face of environmental sustainability. We generate our own energy for the entire Bafar industrial complex, and we reuse 95% of used water, transforming it into refrigeration energy and irrigation for the gardens. Harmony with humanity. The Bafar Group champions social ideas that elevate human dignity. With our foundation, we touch the lives of thousands of boys and girls and hundreds of the country's charities. We support family nutrition. We join efforts of the Real Madrid Foundation, duplicating its model for social sports schools. And in the Baby Bee Nursery, we give safety and certainty to children of working mothers. Harmony in the workplace. This company's progress is nourished by the ingenuity and efforts of its 14,000 employees. For this reason, in Bafar, a job is not just employment, but a commitment to humanity. With effective digital systems, we discover the talents of our collaborators, and at Bafar University, we develop and strengthen them to be happier and more productive. This is how we give back to the men and women who daily put their heart and soul into what they do. Before being a company, we are a big family. This is our story. 40 years growing in a sustained manner, exploring new territories as a company, taking our place in the international food market. We do it with pride in who we are and what we do, with loyalty to the ideals that we drink in from this land. Respect, trust, transparency, and integrity are the golden touch on the compass that orients our company's labor. At the center of who we are is not only generating profits, it is creating value. Value for consumers, for employees and suppliers, for partners, value for Chihuahua and Mexico. We work daily to forge a legacy, to challenge the time barrier and remain in the memory of the Mexican people, to leave our good mark on the world. At this point on the journey, we renew the declaration of our principles. First you, Mexico. First U, Chihuahua. First U. First U. First U. Bafar Group. Feeding the progress of Mexico.